To war, then. Feel time for begun.
Do you accept me as your queen and ruler?
All right, everybody, welcome back to Inside All Day presents House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 4, which is titled The Red Dragon and the Gold, which is cool. They're titling ahead. I'm very excited to talk about this episode because something actually happened.
Yes.
But before we get into it, and we'll get right into it, please hit that like button. Oh, we've got Kayla. Subscribe to the channel. We go live after every episode for this season. And please, come along for the ride. There is a poll going on in the YouTube side of things. Ooh. Hold on 1 second. Sorry.
Someone driving under a bridge.
I say Khaleesi's having alternator problems. It sounds like
Kayla's riding under dragon into the stream.
Yes.
So we have I did mute you, Kayla, just FYI. We do have a poll going. Who won this round? Team Black, Team Green? I cheered when Christian Cole got knocked out. So all right, guys, I'm gonna open it to everybody on the panel. How did everybody feel about this episode? Don't go all at once.
Really liked it.
It was the best one of the season.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Yes.
That's not a particularly exceptionally high bar. I continued to be bored for the first 45 minutes of the episode, but something happened, and it was probably the best action sequence of the season.
Yeah. Agreed. And just so everybody knows, we do non-spoilers beginning of this. We'll just get into just first thoughts. Once we hit into spoilers for both the show and the books, there will be a banner going on the bottom. If you don't want spoilers, you can mark it here and go watch the episode and come back. So anyone else on first thoughts for this episode?
Sorry, I'm under the Ambassador Bridge right now, so my connection might be shoddy.
Don't make fun of Kayla. She hopped on.
I'm on my phone. I'm on my phone right now. That's why.
No, it was nice to have something done, but I will say I would have missed it if my wife didn't elbow me in the chest because I was falling asleep in the beginning of this episode.
Yeah.
And that's not a jab at everything. That's just kind of something that I do. It didn't appear to be going anywhere. I'm interested in bouncing this off you guys who have read the source material because I have a bunch of new theories. And it was also nice to watch Kristen Cole wake up like a bitch and realize
oh, my chest hurts, I can't breathe.
Oh my god. Wind knocked out me.
What a pussy.
I thought he looked kind of hot this episode. He can be a bitch, but he kind of.
I'm going to kick you out of our group chat for bringing this pro-Christian Cole discussion going on.
What did they do to his hair?
Yeah,
it was in episode 3, and they gave him a really bad haircut.
Cut it like a Caesar.
Same
they try to make it look like Caesar. It's just dude, you're nowhere close to Caesar #1.
Either way,
insult to the Romans.
Same hairstylist as the people that do the Star Wars TV show.
He's a greasy little man, bitch, and all of his bad decisions have come to haunt him now. And now he will have to.
He's gonna get.
Probably also use his hair.
His chicken McNugget of a king who is burnt to a crisp, and deal with it.
Whoa, hold on.
Take a level down. We don't want to do spoilers yet. Spoilers.
Chicken nuggets.
Spoiler. Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh no.
That's horrible.
Which version of King Viserys?
When he looked like the Crypt Keeper, I hope not.
Yeah.
When he had the Phantom of the Opera mask on.
Christine.
Now, I just want to give the summary of this. This is from HBO itself. In Rhaenyra and Daemon's absence, Rhaenys, right? Rhaenys, thank you. Tries to steady the Black Council as Cole mounts a campaign into the Crownlands. I wanted to edit it, and it says also finds out her husband's bastards too, as well in this episode as well. But that's that's getting into spoiler territory. Any other first thoughts? Because we'll jump right into spoilers if you guys want to do that. That way we can freely talk about it.
We should just.
I kind of can't talk about it further.
Okay.
I'll
We have to
definitely
do-
add on something like non-spoilerish. Maybe like that'll probably coincide with what Sammy was saying. This episode definitely felt like a crescendo from how it started to where it ended, right? Like it's just like building to the climax, and well worth the wait after 4 episodes.
So man, Nick, let me tell you, I was looking at my watch and I was like 6:38 here. 38 minutes in the episode, nothing had happened. I was like, if nothing happens, I'm canceling this stream. I'm not talking about nothing again. I'm just not. I'm done. I'm just not. Yeah, we're done. All right. So, fair warning to anybody watching right now. If you have not seen the episode, we are going to get into spoilers for both the episode and the book. I'm going to bring up the episode. So, just fair warning. We're going to do 3, 2, 1. You have been warned. All right. I'll get the episode.
All right,
up.
guys, may I? Toasty!
Getting hot in here.
I'm gonna see if I can switch to my computer if it's done updating. Hold on.
Okay.
All right.
You're all good.
I have a question for people who have read the book. Does Damon have these visions in the book as well?
No, absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely
Have you guys
not.
seen the bear?
I mean, in the show, they're doing something a little bit different. What I did like is when he kind of was in front of Alice Rivers, it seemed like he was resisting her because he is the only man that can resist her. It seems like to me, it's something going on with the weirwood. Okay. And they're kind of alluding to possibly like he's drinking weirwood paste because it's kind of supposed to be like a
You mean
blood-like texture. Yeah. And that's like when Alice Rivers was like licking her fingers and stuff. That's at least how I was perceiving it to be. And then she mentions that the bed was made out of the weirwood. Also in the background, like it kind of looks like, you know, some of the weirwood is like mixed into Harrenhal. I mean, or it could just be me. I didn't have my glasses on. So, but no, it's just no. Damon's not affected by shit in the books like this.
Okay. I have a theory about this. I don't think it means anything, and I think the show is wasting our time because it doesn't have enough content and wants Matt Smith on the screen.
Yeah. I might have to
fair.
agree with you on that.
So I think what it is that Harrenhal, they're connecting everything to Game of Thrones. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So in Harrenhal, we know that Harrenhal is extremely haunted. It's fucking cursed. They're just trying to show these aspects of it because it's not. This is a much better version of Harrenhal than what we got in Game of Thrones. You know, so pretty much.
Yeah.
This is what they're trying to do, and they're also trying to give people the feeling like, is it the ancestors? Because it's pretty messed up looking after everything. It looks like they never cleaned up after Aegon the Conqueror came there.
Yeah.
You know.
I have 2 main things going on. I don't know if this has to do with the book. From what I understand, none of these hallucinations like happen at all. So I felt that it was very creepy that the writers were like, here's the child version.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again.
Like, why? Ew.
And all I want to know now is wait, what's his face? What's his name?
I think it has. It deals with Damon's guilt on it.
Yeah.
I think from the writer's perspective, him having, in a sense, quote unquote, groom this person. And granted, I'm saying from the writer's perspective. I'm not saying from the book or its show. I think it's his guilt of toying with her, kind of grooming her towards him.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's what I was about to say, but yes.
It's acting as a parallel to Aemond having the mommy issues with the whore and the brothel. That's basically that's what it is. So you got Aemond with this older woman, right? and they have Daemon with a young Rhaenyra. They're mirroring it in some weird way, I think.
Okay, lady, you're gonna answer this for me. Does Tom Glencarney show up as a chicken nugget in the next thing? Because I feel like he got burnt to a crisp.
Aegon. I don't know what'll happen to him.
He wasn't
actually.
burned to the crisp in the one shot we got.
Yeah,
of him
he's
laying
just-
there.
Yeah, but they opened the dragon's neck and it looked. They tried to make it look like that was almost like a scene from Alien where like it was acidic, where it like dumped on a couple of.
Some people got burned.
how-
by the
Yeah,
hot
they
blood.
got burned by the
Yeah.
blood. So
In the book.
I think he's cooked. And then they showed Crisp and Cole kind of like looking at like,
Well,
my
to
God,
quote
you
George
have
R.
my
R.
tongue.
Martin, read and find out.
Yeah, I mean, like we could like explain what happens, right? Like, you know, but I'm sure they'll probably. I mean, it looks like they'll explain
think
what
he's
happened to him in the next episode. So
Yeah.
it's
Way fucking better.
Yeah.
I
The
think
further
I
we
just think
get
it's
into this,
important. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
the further we get into this series, the more I feel that the book and the show are in two different worlds. It's like a parallel world,
Yes.
and they're two
it's
different.
a different turning of the
completely.
wheel.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I
like completely.
specifically not read. I haven't read the book because like I don't want to set expectations for myself this time because like that really did a number on me with the actual Game of Thrones series, and I feel like it's serving me better just going in blind.
I mean,
And
do we, for
Get
those of us
raw
that have
dog
read
of
the
the show.
book, do we
I
want to
mean-
specify what happens to Aegon? Like, we could say what happens now and see if it
Well-
differs when the episode happens.
I don't.
I
would be a
wanna
now
say
that's making me
it's been
curious.
shown. I don't want to spoil anything, but I do want to just reiterate this: Targaryens can burn.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that had any immunity to fire is Daenerys.
Okay, so he's the chicken nugget. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he isn't. I mean, he is in
You
armor.
alluded to the fact
Wait a
that he
minute.
might be a
So
chicken
then,
nugget.
I have a question for those who have read the Game of Thrones books. Does Daenerys burn there, or is
No.
it like
No,
The
no.
explanation
hair
given
burns
for
off.
that.
They went to great lengths to explain that like she doesn't burn and
Yeah.
stuff
Mhm.
like that.
She was
Besides
like,
her hair
Yeah.
burns the fuck off.
But I will say that I could see them doing some sort of like, so like some tomfuckery, but trying to almost distinguish like what Targaryens can burn from. Like
Well,
they won't burn from fire, but they can burn from ... Fill in the blank.
dragon's blood?
well, Daemon
I'm
definitely
not
is already
saying it.
burnt.
There's no
Daemon's already
spoilers there.
burnt.
He got covered in it. So like that's you know like I
From
assume
the
he's
book
a
perspective is what
crispy
I'm
crispy
yeah.
boy.
I mean, from a technical point of view, if a dragon can shoot out fire, it's going to heat up certain elements in its body, so its blood is
Yeah.
obviously going to be hotter. Like just from a technical point of view, like not having read any of the books, and like it could make sense. But let's rein it back. We're going to be talking about this episode, so let's start from the beginning of this episode.
Can
So
we
have
start at
Daemon
like
and-
45 minutes in?
Yes, sure. So we have Daemon. He's going through his hallucinations or dreams or nightmares, I guess. To me, it feels like he's hallucinating, not so much dreaming.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
so too.
And he's picturing a young Queen Rhaenyra, young Rhaenyra, played by Millie, which is great to see her back. I thought last episode was the last time we were going to see her. 'Cause
I like
thought
to
they
see her
said that,
again.
but yeah, I think she's fantastic. And I like this scene. It was really liked the cinematography in this, especially when he cuts off her head. So here he enters the Iron Throne room. Millie is like, Rhaenyra is like talking to him in High Valyrian, but he can barely make it out. And he's like, be clearer, speak plainly. And finally comes up and says, all because your brother loved me more than he did you. And then I'm on the wrong tab. I'm trying to move the YouTube tab. he cuts off her head, which is really creepy.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like the creepiness, you know, again, like personifying that Harrenhal is haunted and like cursed, right? Like, so I feel like for trying to make up, like Alex said, to try and get Matt Smith to have more screen time, they're kind of building upon this thing that wasn't anywhere in the book, but at least it's something that's also like creepy that coincides with the Harrenhal action. So I mean, it's not entirely bad from maybe like a writing perspective that they're trying to make up for gaps in George's history book. But there again, like, did it waste our time? We don't know yet. It might not.
I
my
did
question
like
I would
what you
wanna
said about
add-
the High Valerian, because like that's also something that's gonna come back in this episode. That is, I thought was probably one of the stronger scenes in this episode, and it was all in High Valerian. So that someone brought up.
Does
High
anybody know
Valerian.
the answer to this?
I don't remember off the top
20
of my
years, I
head.
thought, right?
At least it has to be.
Yeah, when
Just
she
by-
was like 12 or 15, right?
Yeah.
He was like in his 30s.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember correctly.
Creepy.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creepy.
So he's woken up,
Targaryens.
and there's a raven from it, and then we get more of Harrenhal, which I kind of want a whole series on just the story, the history of Harrenhal. Like, just give me the history of the family to this. If this is haunted and creepy, give me more of this.
I thought it'd be really cool on the show if they like, because George doesn't really expound on his magic system a lot, but there's definitely like three like elemental magic systems. You have the fire with the Targaryen, like the Rhoynar had the water magic, which you don't really see ever in that. And then there's like the people that live on Westeros, like the first men and stuff, or not the first men, the children of the forest and stuff. They're sort of like the earth magic, the green magic, and that's where we kind of get the green seers and stuff. And it would be kind of cool if they kind of played it up like, here's a fire magic person in the domain of the like green magic people. Like maybe he like the castle's trying to expel him or something. I don't know. That would be kind of cool to see.
That would be neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like
Yeah.
eight or nine categories of magic that he categorizes everything in. It's
Holy, Brandon
super
Sanderson.
interesting.
Yeah, I've never like really read it, but just going off of stuff I remember in the text.
So, is anybody else concerned that absolutely nothing good has ever come in the last 25 years of a supposed main character dealing with his guilt and grief? Like, I mean, yeah, you might be able to say something like Logan, but that is probably the only example of a main male character getting treated well.
Oh, like dealing with his feelings and actually
Yeah.
having a healthy outcome. No, yeah, that's not going to happen here.
So, you know, I know Daemon is going to get shit on because they're doing this emotional arc. I know they're wasting my time because Daemon isn't riding around killing people on his dragon. And I kind of get the impression that half the reason we're doing this is because the showrunners like Emilia Clarke, which is fine, but she doesn't need to be here. Can we get to the damn point?
Yeah. Ugh.
I agree.
I don't know if it was like a contractual thing where like, you know, she was in 5 episodes of season 1 and maybe they guaranteed that she would be in, I don't know,
8, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But that's not my problem. That's HBO's problem.
Oh, for sure.
So,
For sure.
Rah womanhood, Alex. All right, more women in the show. That's what we're going for.
I don't know. Like, there's hardly any real men in this show. Like, oh my goodness.
There's only,
Yeah,
like, 2.
sadly, the only guy that actually was a real man in this entire episode is the one I hate the most. So,
yeah,
and that was barely by too, as well. So Daemon is meeting with this is Lord Paramount's grandson, correct? From what I remember,
Yep.
correctly. Thank you.
totally kid. I don't even remember his name.
Such a little kid too.
I know. Like, it's really weird how they have so many like super young kids in the show.
Maybe it's to play into any future shows they want to do to kind of have younger here age up in the other ones.
Probably.
But I love the line in this where he's like, "Why don't you just put a feather pillow over your grandsire's face and just claim your inheritance already, so that you know you can join me in battle?" And this guy's like, "No, I really actually love my grandfather. Like I actually love grandpa, he took me in.
This is
He's
such
pretty cool.
contrived bullshit nonsense. Like in this era, Damon should not be like this. Shouldn't phase Damon that there's a young like heir kind of running things, and also why is the young heir not allowed to make any decisions? Like this is completely idiotic. There's this isn't like today's modern politics where you're kind of paralyzed by other political entities. He's running the castle, he's running the army, he's in charge, he can do whatever the hell he wants. This seemed like a weird contrived problem to justify Damon kind of being this way, if that makes sense.
That's actually a good point. I never thought of that, Alex, where they would have young guys like this, and he should be the one. If he's being sent to represent his grandsire, then he should be being able to make decisions as well. Yeah. Especially if his grandfather's about to croak anyway. He should be starting to take over things.
I know, like from what I remember of the book, he wasn't incapacitated.
Well, they also went to great lengths. I can't remember what episode it was where they cleared out the castle after the kid got killed. I know I say that, I'm not trying to sound insensitively, but like they showed how many people it actually takes to keep this castle running, and like maybe show that like he's responsible for some of that. And you know what I mean? There's a lot of people, there's a lot of servants in that castle. Show that he has responsibility. That might be something that pays off later on.
Yeah. You know who didn't get haunted in Harrenhal?
Who?
Tywin Lannister.
Yeah, Tywin Lannister. I'm so glad that you say that. Because like I bring up Tywin Lannister anytime that I can, because like I think
Tywin is such a badass.
No, yeah, but so Otto Hightower is not Tywin Lannister.
He is not.
Like, but even though Otto Hightower has been shown to be the only one playing the game all the time, it doesn't matter. Like you're talking about a guy who's just like a political mind that comes once in a generation. Tywin Lannister. Yes. Like, and I like seeing that in juxtaposition where like you see another guy playing the game and doing well, but he's just not Tywin Lannister. Like,
Otto Hightower is just a little too sniveling. He's a little too little finger.
Yeah, no, he is by nowhere like proud enough or what, tall enough, and he's just not there.
He's a yes man.
Yeah, he doesn't have the fucking chutzpah.
Yeah, I really miss that this show doesn't have the Game of Thrones had was it could take like unlikable people and make them likable characters. Like that's how I would say Damon is. He's not a good person by any stretch of the imagination because you like him, and most of the time it's because he's like competent and proactive. And
but
like other people too. Like that.
You would have Tywin, you would have Varys, and then you would have like Littlefinger all like in one scene, and you all know they had ulterior motives and everything, and it was like a triple entendre where you're going like all these characters have everything going on for them. Like that's something that's dreadfully missing from this. Sorry.
No. Sorry to interrupt. Just want to say we have 69 people watching.
Oh,
those over on X, please come on over to YouTube. There is a poll going on in the channel chat. Who won this round? Team Black, Team Green, and you cheered when Christian Cole got KO'd. So please come on over and vote on that poll and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, what I was getting at was we're in a different part of the timeline, so it's wonderful with Game of Thrones that like all of those things happened at once. That doesn't mean that I don't find this intriguing. I might find it more intriguing to know like, oh, this is kind of a point in time where there's weaker like politicians, and their failures will probably lead into having more problems in King's Landing and, you know, like the surrounding kingdoms, simply because you don't have that one voice, that unifying voice that could do that. Like, you know, like they had like Robb Stark, all those, like it could have been anybody in Game of Thrones. I'm not seeing that here.
Yeah.
Having not read the source material, I don't know if I want any of these people to sit on the Iron Throne. From getting what I'm seeing, like I don't think anybody's worthy of it. I don't think anybody's a good enough leader to do this. And it's interesting on that point where you're like, oh, this is a point in Game of Thrones, you know, Song of Ice and Fire lore, where I was like, maybe there's not a good leader here. You know, what do we do with that?
Yeah, I think there's certainly something to be said that both of the councils kind of suck.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I thought this was an intentional commentary about, you know, good and peaceful times create weak men, whereas, you know, in the Game of Thrones era, they were just coming off of, you know, overthrowing the Mad King, and the guys sitting on those councils had been in those fights, I would give them a lot more credit. I don't think that's the commentary they're making. I think they're just struggling to make these councils memorable. I mean, the most memorable one is the Lannister guy, mostly for just how poofish he is. Like, there's nothing, there's no dogs in this group.
I agree.
Yeah, they're all weak. I mean, it's like a pale comparison to the like the most of the people on this council. I think the councilmen on Team Black have a little bit more bravado than Team Green, right? Like they're all arguing, and just as Lord Corlys is entering the room at that one scene.
The man's back. We could have this meeting.
Yeah.
Like,
Look,
oh,
Team
shit,
Green is just a mess. It is an absolute mess.
Yeah, it's like not that they're trying to overstep Rhaenyra, but they're all like, you know, even her son was like, "Mom, like, WTF, where you been?" You know, and obviously like
Literally everyone's Jace right then. We're like, you could have been killed. That was stupid. What was she gonna say? Like,
right? And you talk about the black counselors, and I have lost track of the number of times a woman has done something stupid. The men around her are like, "What the hell? Why did you do that?" And then she makes some quip or something that does not in any way satisfactorily answer the charge, and then we just move along and pretend like it's fine. When Daemon asks Rhaenys, why didn't you kill all of the Greens in the first season? And she's just like, it wasn't the right time. And he just kind of shrugs, and it's like,
I guess
that's not a satisfactory answer. I mean, it's the same with Jace. And I mean, Jesus Christ, the one guy who keeps like getting shut down is making all the right points. Like, hey, Rhaenyra's gone. We got to do something.
Alfred, I think.
And they just keep dunking on him. Or like they say something that they pretend is a dunk, and you're just sitting there like, that wasn't a dunk. He's right.
I agree.
Listen to the man.
Totally.
Because he's had experience, right? Like he's been in altercations where you need to act and you need to prepare and you need to emit some sort of strategy, because they literally just got outdone by Sir Bitchton Cole.
I really feel like they just
Sir Bitchton Cole. Sorry.
Cuxton Cole.
That's what I will be saying for the rest of the show.
I want that as a tattoo.
We'll get matching tattoos. I'm down.
I feel like the show, like, they just don't know what to do with this time period. It's like they couldn't come up with some ideas, and I'm like, well, if I was going to do this, what would I show? Well, it'd be kind of cool to show like tension starting to boil up in the Riverlands instead of having the two like adolescent kids fighting each other. Like, make it more of the house battle. I mean, like the Blackwoods and the Brackens are like the Hatfields and McCoys of Westeros. Like there's blood there. And then there's like House Tully isn't as big of a deal at this point in time, like that they're making. I think they're just doing that because people know the name from Game of Thrones and they're like, ooh, cool. But like, why don't you make a story there too? I mean, you've got like the old Grover Tully is like Joe Biden basically like not really competent to lead the house, and he's got the younger grandson or whatever he is, like he's like, yeah, and maybe they're gonna try to get rid of him or something, and there's like a murder plot, or I don't know, just stuff like that where there's more characters and more stories, so we aren't having to rely on these really boring council meetings. That would be so cool.
Yeah, that would be great, because we are relying on these council meetings, and they've been nothing burgers.
They're just info dumps. Like,
yeah,
look
no,
at my
I
cool
agree.
math.
I
Okay, I'm
really
gonna
do.
move all my dragons over here. Okay, no,
Like I said, and that's not to take away, like Tom Glenn Carney, I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah.
He's acting his ass off. Like he's doing a great job with the character.
Well,
you know, there's
or did he do it in episode 2? Because the guy in episode, I forget, was he good in episode 2 or episode 3? There's been 3 episodes where he's been very
good the whole time.
Okay, but
Tom
there was
Carney this season has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
okay, but there was one episode where he kind of started to show competence, and he was like
that was episode 2, I think.
was it episode?
Yeah.
It was either episode 2 or 3 where he
it
started
was
kind of
2.
talking with Lenore, and he was kind of moving things around the board.
Mm-hmm.
And that was completely gone this episode. Like he has reverted back exactly.
You mean Aemon?
Well, I mean, they did cut his kid's head off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Aegon and Aemond have both reverted. Aemond reverted back to being cool, which thank you. Let's keep that going. But Aegon reverted back to being a dumbass, and it's
it's his mother's fault, to be honest with you. I blame.
I
his
agree.
mother
I
for-
agree.
Allison is a horrible mother.
She is.
And we
Absolute
kind of said
horrible
that
mother.
last week. Like she doesn't like I said this last week to Kaida, and I know he can't vouch for his horrible team right now, but if he's watching, sorry, Kaida, I'm about to dump on your team. I said this last week. She doesn't care about her children.
No,
and this shows it
doesn't.
yet again. Point proven in the evidence that she literally said do nothing, and so that propelled him, because he's a young little shithead, to do something. And he thought, I'm gonna look cool in Aegon the Conqueror's armor on my little dragon and go to war.
I like that. I'm
That's
glad
not
that
the
you
type of-
said that. I like when he was on the dragon, like on that scene.
Hold
that
up.
it looked ill-equipped.
We're going episode. We're going through the episode, guys. Let's
okay.
Oh,
yeah.
This scene pissed me off though a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
This
This
scene was
scene-
so
Felt like-
stupid. Like
Well, this
Yeah.
scene, I think they utilized this for later on in the episode as like a motivation of her just kind of not giving a fuck, like going on a suicide mission, pretty much.
I'll just
Like,
say
that was
that
it.
the wig looks much better than last season. And
I thought it played more so to who would be riding Sea Smoke eventually, to kind of lay the eggs, to lay it there, the little member berries.
I just wanted to move
for
along
that.
quicker for this. Like they're just beating around the bush too much with him. It's like,
Yeah, like come on, guys.
you show him for like he's in this episode for like what 15 seconds here, whatever, however long the scene is, and like that's it. It's just, dude, like let's get on with it.
yeah,
And-
we all know it's coming.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and I get it. Not everyone does, but I think for that reason, everyone's like, I have people asking me like, yeah, what's this? Who's this guy? And is he important? Like, what's his deal? And I'm like,
Dude,
how much
as soon
do
as
want me to
you
spoil?
picked out that scene, I think it was last episode where the dragon was like directly above him in the sky. Like,
Yeah,
I kind of know what's going on. Like, as someone who hasn't read it, like I understand.
Hey, AJ, check this out.
AJ, if you're hold on.
He's in
I'll
the
pull it.
chat. Like I
Hold on.
gotta show
I got
him.
it. I got
my
it.
shirt here. Here, AJ, look.
Oh, that's cool.
I got Abomination AJ, and I decided to wear it because that our girl Alice Rivers, she came out as a furry, so we haven't
I mean,
gotten there
that's
yet. But
Cool, because you're wearing a black shirt. You guys are both wearing black.
yeah, not green.
Yeah.
blame AJ. What?
Yeah.
This entire sequence was so bizarrely conceived, especially having Corlys right there. She
Yeah,
walks up to him, touches his face, and goes, "Ah, yes, I know you're my husband's bastard." And I'm like,
I'm not gonna lie, guys.
he doesn't look anything like him. Like,
my wife had to elbow
By the way,
me.
AJ, look, check your DMs, AJ. Go ahead. Sorry, guys.
No, I'm just saying, like, at this
Alex,
point in the episode, it's all just a dialogue dump. I wasn't having a great time. I'm just throwing that out there.
Alex, I had the same thought. I was like, why are we assuming the two black men are identical? Like, why? They don't look at all. Like, I'm just why this is racist HBO.
That's racist.
You can't assume everybody's related. I'm Middle Eastern. I'm not related to every Middle Eastern person. Come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you.
Everybody knows you're a terrorist.
Oh, you're not?
Well, the thing is
it's relate to every Middle Eastern person ever.
If he's bald, does that mean he has white hair or the silver hair?
I assume.
Dude, if he's been shaving those sick ass white dreads, I'm gonna be a little mad. Like,
yeah.
They know what they say about dragon seeds.
I have the coolest haircut ever. Why would you shave your head?
Because I'm a bastard.
Yeah. I thought this again. I think it just lays the member berries for later on. And then she's like, I know. I know, dude. I know you've been, which is weird because this entire time for the first season up till now, he's played off as like a very righteous man to her. Like their relationship comes up like he's very high morals, where for him to step out on her does not feel like within his character of how they've written him for the show.
I
like
couldn't
they
agree
seem
more.
very much in love together and stuff. So it's very weird.
Well, I mean, he's sailing everywhere. So I'm just saying, he's a sailor. He got around.
Play is gonna play.
I mean, and I think they're doing his show animated of like his adventures and everything. So yeah,
Which
he
they
definitely
should.
Cool.
He gets around.
He gets around, definitely.
Yeah.
Round and round he goes.
True sailor at heart.
You said he's in the Navy, though.
Very sailorish.
But the thing is, play into that. It's weird to me that they hold him up on such a high pedestal of such a very high.
Like all of a sudden she cares about him.
Yeah, and like and it's not like these two have been hiding around. They're two grown ass men. If these are his children or his bastards, like they've been around. It's not like they're hiding. Just and especially if one has the same hair as him, at least growing up.
Yeah, also you're not gonna surprise us with like some form of incest anymore. Like
I mean, come on, we got uncle and niece, brothers and sisters.
We got uncle cousins and
I think a lot of the issues with this season are due to it having 8 episodes.
I agree.
So the pacing, it is really messed up. The pacing and certain things that they're putting in need more context. And
Like
we're
this.
not really getting it.
I could not disagree with that anymore. This show should have had 4 episodes.
Yes.
Yes. We cannot continue this asinine trend of 50 minutes of talking about the event that happened at the end of the last episode, and then in the last 5 minutes an event happens, and we do it over and over and over and over again. We need more than one thing to happen per episode.
Okay, I'm
mean,
inclined to agree with that.
I just don't think they have enough money, because if I count all
They
of the
have
events,
a ton of money.
they don't have enough money that they're willing to invest in it.
Yeah, they're
I
not
actually
Disney.
think
They're
it's
not
that-
Disney
that's-
guys. Come on.
I don't think it's the money issue, to be honest. From what I've seen, especially with the last episode, we had an entire death field of soldiers. That means that they
that was
actually
so
filmed
stupid.
things. It is by cutting down time because people don't want to sit and watch probably a 2-hour episode. I mean, I'm willing to watch a 2-hour episode on this, but not a lot of people are willing to push past like an hour 15. And I think it's just cutting it down to time. Just like, hey, we're just going to cut it down to 8 episodes. We're just going to cut it down to the meat of it, which really sucks. But Kaida's in the chat, and I just wanted to point out to him the poll going on. Who won this round? Team Black, Team Green, or we all cheered when Christian Cole got KO'd.
What
So,
you gonna
boy,
do
Kaida.
about it?
Which king
Yeah.
are you referring to? Like,
Yeah, which one? Aemon?
king?
Because
Amen.
Aegon or Aemon?
Beyond the wall,
Crispy-
guys.
crispy-
Max
crispy-
Raider or nothing.
There is something about this episode that I truly enjoyed.
That it was
and
short.
I'm now realizing that we're not there, and I will bring that up at a later time. Sorry.
So
There you
I
go.
like this because this was good foreshadowing.
Her breaking it.
Yep, that was
Mhm.
great foreshadowing because
That was
kind of
cool.
she pretty much like broke her son in an aspect, and then yeah, I mean we'll see whatever
Yeah.
results next episode, I guess.
Oh, and how do you
Yeah.
guys feel about White Worm showing up in the next episode?
Please, just go away.
Strange-
You know what?
Yeah,
The
but-
exact same
Alice,
response.
Alice Rivers' voice officially drives me crazy.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's not what I picture for Alice
Same.
Rivers.
I just
Like,
assume every single episode the director's like, be terrible.
Yeah, Kayla, you make a good.
That was
point there.
bad, but do worse.
Yeah.
When I saw her playing with the
Too
dragon
much
statue,
emotion.
my thought was that she was thinking about her husband, and
Yeah,
because it's
sure.
his dragon statue, she's thinking about the histories of it. But yeah, I think that works really well. It's a character moment. She's thinking about her husband and what she learned in the previous episode. And then you're right, I didn't catch the foreshadowing. That's excellent call out.
oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
The way her
Sometimes I think in cinematographical ways, I guess, but I'm just like a book person, and I'm like, oh, I like this, So, but it's good foreshadowing, I thought.
yeah.
I wish Kaida was here. 'cause
Heresy, you're out of your mind.
I wanted to ask why his queen's getting rid of his buddy's baby out of her now all of a sudden. Why are we
That was-
dropping Kristen Cole's genes out there? Like, what's going on?
Because she doesn't want a simp's child, you know?
I actually don't. I actually don't think
How
it
did
has
he
to
even
deal
have a
with
kid?
him.
Like he's just
It-
such a low T.
I don't actually think it has to deal with him. I think it's the fact that she just doesn't want to be pregnant again. She's
Oh, for
gone
sure.
through three, most of her young life being pregnant after one, after another. I think it's more so to do with that than it actually being Kristen Cole's kid. But also the shame of it, because like if she turns up pregnant all of a sudden, how she's going to
Mhm.
explain?
Oh,
We've done it.
I will jump off of that. I thought it was more, granted, haven't read the books. This would just complicate things even more.
Yeah.
And that's all that I took from it. I didn't see like it's Kristen Cole's kid or whatnot. They were like, oh, we don't need another baby in this mix.
I also think it's symbolic of her being a hypocrite.
Yes.
Oh, I like
It's
that even
very
better.
symbolic of it. I mean, she is someone that kind of uses her religion as a shield, and she's perceived to be like this pious queen, and just she wants to be perceived as good and mightier than. But look at what she's doing. She's doing things that are even against pretty
It's
much
so hard
everything
for
that she
me
says she stands for. She's a
because
hypocrite.
I find her to be the most gorgeous actress.
Oh,
in
she's
this entire
beautiful.
show. And
Yeah.
she does these things, and it's just like look, Nadia has it perfect. Look at her right here. All I want to do is reach out and comfort her and be like, "Baby, we can change." But she keeps
Little Sammy
That's
time,
what I
man.
felt about
decisions and ruining.
That's how I felt
Don't
about
believe
Jon
those soft doe eyes.
It's
Don't
the sad
believe those-
eyes. I'm
I-
a sucker
Yeah,
for
don't
sad
believe
eyes too.
I have to
Jon
listen
Snow,
to you
like-
and Vex gush over what's his face, Henry Cavill. Let me have this.
I'm right there with you, Sammy. I won't let you die alone.
Thank you.
I think she's beautiful.
She
No,
is.
I
She's very
she's
beautiful in real
gorgeous.
life.
You guys are crazy. She wiped out 2 of her kids in this episode. That's got to be a record.
It is. She continually
Listen.
makes bad choices. But I
I was like,
forgive
wait a
her.
minute, 2 kids. Oh,
We just know that Cole's pullout game is weak. much
Dude,
like
Kristen
him.
Yeah.
Cole couldn't pull
Well,
out
actually-
a fucking
No,
driveway.
Actually, his pull-out game is strong.
actually, I don't think he would pull out. I think he would want to get her pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Yeah,
that
he
was
would.
100%.
He's like,
like,
yeah,
Kristen,
you
what are
saw
you
what
doing? You
Harlan
look at her and
Strong
go,
did with
"Nothing."
Rhaenyra. Like, come
Well, like
on.
how devastating would it be if he goes back to her and she's like, I drank milk with the poppy or whatever it is, and he just like turns into a little bitch.
Oh,
why would you do that to our son?
Then you hear the what is
I'm
it?
just gonna
Intervention like theme
retitle
song.
these
It's like
streams.
boo doo 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 doo.
I'm gonna retitle these
Also,
streams. to
this is
Kristen
Christian
Cole
Cole hated
can't stop
streams.
doing milk of the poppy.
Yeah.
This is definitely when she was
Moonsea.
riding him and the kid died, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's Kristen Cole didn't have a choice in the matter. He was just hanging on
No.
for dear life.
Look
And-
at that face. That face is the face of going like, oh my God, I fucked Kristen Cole. And I'm going to have to live with that for the rest of my life. Every time I look in the mirror, this is the face of someone who fucked Kristen Cole. And that simp.
It's so
is-
funny too because she leaves the
Oh
stupid
my
bottle out like everyone knows what it is. Like,
Yeah,
look, here's
Clubfoot's
my
like,
plan
yeah.
B. It's like right here.
Oh yeah, madam,
Look at
you
my
left your
sin.
abortion potion
Look at my
out on
sin.
the fucking kitchen table.
Bitch has a fucking Planned
Yeah,
Parenthood
Mooney.
loyalty card.
Yeah, he
Funny.
looks at-
Oh my god.
We're not even halfway through the episode and still nothing has happened.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
So it's just like the previous three.
For the win.
Team Green for the ween. Your boys' pullout game's not
You
strong,
know-
Flaccid. All right.
No, Ween is the greatest band of all time. So
What I will say I'm very disappointed with was the amount of time that we spent with Rhaenys this season to lead up to this episode. I think they could have incorporated some cool flashbacks. I think she is, like, through the books, she is a pretty cool character. She's
Yeah.
probably the oldest living dragon rider right now at
Yeah.
this time period, and probably the most I don't know. I just think
No,
it's a
I know
shame.
what you're saying, lady. From what happens at the end of the episode,
Mhm.
I would have liked to see a little bit more tact from her and let like the audience, the crowd know that like she's been doing this a while. Like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't get that.
Yeah,
moment.
let's see her make a plan. Like,
Well, it's-
Yeah, exactly.
it's kinda
I would
like-
like to see her like, even though she was on the reins, like take the reins, like
Mhm.
have a couple like tricks up her sleeve, and that's
Well-
I think that's something that we were all expecting and we didn't get.
The
I mean,
end role
I
should have
think
been
that-
reversed.
I do think that some of the stuff was a little different, but then some of the stuff did look like picture art that I've seen.
Yeah.
So it in an aspect though, like I think they literally used Corliss's bastard child as a breaking point for her, and she's basically going in like, fuck it, I'm not coming back, because that's what I got from everything. It was like she is on a suicide mission.
I don't.
Oh, I got a
Because
totally
she
different.
could have left.
Yeah.
She could have
I
left.
don't-
She could have got out of there, and she didn't. She turned back around
I think.
and went right
think-
into Vega.
I did
I
see
think
that
that's
part.
more out of honor. I don't think that's out of suicide. I don't think two bastards, which she probably already knew about, would upset her that much to leave her grandchildren and to leave her queen like this. I don't think it's a suicide mission. I think honestly she thought she had a chance, and it was
No.
about.
I agree.
Like,
No,
she
I
can't.
agree.
I don't think
I
she
totally
thinks she had a
agree, Nadia.
chance.
No,
I don't think she had a chance.
She had. They make it in the way that they shot that scene. I don't know if you can like eat that towards it, but like it would have been totally it. All she had to do is like go left instead of going right, and she would have been gone. She was honor bound.
But like either way, whatever happened, like it should have. What was her take on it? It's like, okay, you're going to Rook's Rest.
No.
Okay, cool. Like there's nothing. Like there's no interior monologue, no scenes with her. Like no, me, this is dangerous. I might not come back. Goodbye,
No.
Lewis, whatever. There's just nothing reflective. It's like, okay,
Mm,
bam, you're the
I
battle.
can't wait to hear
reason I
what
reject the
you have to say
suicide
about this.
tag,
I
yeah.
think she was honor bound. She was going after him and going like, "Hey, you might have the bigger dragon, but like
I'm the
this
more
is how you
experienced
ride
rider.
a fucking dragon." Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so like I
She-
thought she
Yeah.
had that little bit of like spunk to her, and I would have really appreciated that they actually showed that.
I mean,
Like-
it's like saying if. Yeah, I agree. And
Yeah.
it's like
in
it-
the
it's
book,
saying
she
if there
did
was-
go in knowing that she was going to die. In this show, though, I don't think they made it seem that way. I feel like they like she knew she was going to die, but they added in some kind of suicide element because it seemed to me that they had her like escaping, and Rhaenys in the book, she kept fighting. She was going at it.
Yeah.
They needed to reverse Vhagar and Meleese. What they needed to do was, instead of having Rhaenys drive her dragon into the only fucking blind spot in the entire battlefield like an idiot, they should have had Vhagar do that and Meleese be the one to ambush Vhagar, because that would have shown that she's smarter, she's more experienced, she knows she has the smaller dragon, and she's trying to use every advantage that she can.
I
agree. By reversing it,
I agree.
It ruins it.
Yeah.
Well, like if you're trying to be strategic here, though, as if this was an actual, real life battle that we were even dealing with here on Earth, if you see the king get slain in battle, all she would have had to have done was go back to Dragonstone, report that the king is dead, live to fight another day, and you go march on King's Landing right that fucking second.
Yeah.
That is the strategic play, because you know where Vhagar is.
100%.
You can beat him with all of your dragons, because now Sunfire's gone, Aegon's dead, Cole's army is all fucked up. Like, that is the strategic play. You beat King's Landing to a fucking pulp.
Absolutely.
You get them the fuck out, and you win the fucking war. That's how you win.
In the book, it's a lot different the way that goes down.
Oh yeah, I know.
So it's way. Oh no, that's I forget who was saying, like, in the book. I was just saying, like, in the book, it's a lot different. Like how you just explained it. That's like, like how they should have done for this show.
Okay,
right.
Yeah,
I think
that's what I'm saying.
I think we're in the right place for it. I said this is probably my favorite part about the episode. Probably was the dragons fighting. I love that there was a mirror image of Sunfire fighting with
Meleese?
Yeah, the other dragon, and then
Meleese.
showing how big
the scales
Vhagar.
Yes, exactly. It was like I believe this one is referred to as the Black Dread.
Well, no, Vhagar is the
Valerian.
queen of all dragons. Meleese is the Red Queen, and Sunfire is Sunfire. Which Sunfire, I will say, I was happy that they made him sparkly. Because I was very concerned. And there was a scene.
The most beautiful dragon ever.
There was a scene that I thought was really cute between him and Aegon. I was like, oh. But I love dragons.
I didn't notice how sparkly
we're
this
gonna,
one
we're
dragon
gonna
was.
dragons soon. We will get to dragons soon. I promise everybody. We're gonna get there. I know. We're almost halfway through
Did I
this
still
episode.
jump
We're
the
gonna
gun?
get there. It's okay.
This
All right,
scene
we're
was
moving
funny,
on.
though. I thought.
This one?
Yeah, I
When
thought
we
this
get
whole
there.
scene was funny in an aspect.
I thought it was very interesting, and it's a good point that some of you made on the panel. No scenes of her, not even a touching scene between the two of them before she goes off to ride. She's just basically cold and just hops on her dragons like, hey, I'll take care of it. I'll, let the men whine. I'll go take care of everything. It's fine.
So that's why I was saying, like, I felt like she was kind of like on a suicide mission. Like, she's lost her kid. She's a queen that never was. Yes, you can say honor is a factor, but basically all she has is her and Meleese. She's like, oh, my fucking husband, he's a cheating piece of shit, kind of. I'm going to be cold to him. That's why I kind of felt like it was like they kind of implied that, at least to me, my perspective. But then again, I think crazy shit. So
I could buy it if there was more buildup with that.
The biggest problem I had.
Why wasn't this episode an hour and a half? What the hell?
I wish it was longer.
I know. Why
What
wasn't
happened?
this the longest episode? Why this episode was a clean hour? I don't know why all the other filler episodes were at over an hour, and then this one is the shortest one. I'm like, I want to see more dragons.
it's like,
12
what did
minutes
you
of
accomplish?
dragons. I want to see Vhagar, how they hid Vhagar. Now,
I know. Or
there's
like,
plenty of
how did they
complaint-
even decide this? It's like, okay, it's like we go with all these like dumbasses sitting around. I don't know. Are we at war? Well, one time I sat in the God's Woods with Rhaenyra and we held hands and watched movies and all this crap about being friends and all this. Oh, I don't want to start a fight. Like all this crap. And then finally something happens, but we don't get the lead up to this. We don't see the cool people getting their armies, like guys getting their swords or like, fighting, or like there's just this episode, and then we see like freaking elf boy Highgarden. I don't know what his name. I forgot. I'm just calling him the Legolas Highgarden or Hightower.
Oh, Gowan.
Is it Cowan? Yeah.
Gwaine.
Sorry, I'm like I can't even think right now.
I got you.
Garin. I'm thinking of I'm thinking of the Green Knight for
The
some
Green
reason
Knight.
right now. I watched that.
Right.
I watched
Such a
that
good
during
movie.
work
I love
when I was
that.
bagging
I
and
love that
boarding.
movie.
I like the book. It's a nice poem.
So,
Yeah.
ironically, Gawain, this guy, is named after the Wheel of Time character Gawain, who is named after the Green
Was
Knight.
it one
Are you,
like
Gun? Are you talking about
Interesting.
Darkland here, or are you talking about Gwaine?
Gwaine?
Gwaine
I'm
was
sorry,
named.
Gwaine.
Oh,
I think it was. Is that one of the ones like?
Yeah, it was Robert Jordan and George R.R. Martin were friends, and so they named a bunch of characters after each other in each other's books.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
so
when there's
that's
like
cool.
House Jourdain and stuff like that, and the sigil is the pen.
That's actually really
we
cool. I never knew that.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Like, there's some cool stuff in Wheel of Time. Like, he tries to have like the Game of Thrones, but they call it the Game of Houses.
Wait,
and
who's the
like,
Wheel of Time author?
Robert Jordan doesn't write it.
Robert
Jordan.
That's interesting because he did some things with Robin Hobbs in an aspect. He was a big Robin Hobbs fan who did the Farseer trilogy, which I absolutely love.
Oh,
and he definitely took Fitzchivalry and implemented things about Fitzchivalry's character and put them into Jon Snow. And I definitely can see when you reread the Farseer trilogy, you definitely will see or get a feel for what will happen to Jon Snow between Fitzchivalry and Night Eyes, his wolf.
I always just imagine George R.R. Martin laughing with other authors and just looking at them and going like, yeah, I'm never finishing that fucking book. And then,
before we get into that,
Nadia wants to kill us.
No. I don't want. We're gonna spend 3 hours discussing if he's ever gonna fucking finish that book. All right, back to it. We have Christian Cole on his mission to prove that he is a man, trying to take over smaller castles. Instead of actually heading to Harrenhal, which I actually did not see coming. I was like, that actually makes very much sense. Why go towards the enemy, knowing that they know you're headed your way, and take out the little areas? Why not? Right? Then you.
There's very important to this that they don't kind of talk about in the show. So the Crown Lands are across the street from Dragonstone.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going out and strategically knocking out all of our allies and kind of like locking them into Dragonstone, so they wouldn't sure, you can have your dragons, but in terms of any land support or a safe harbor to move forces, you can't.
Yes, I thought that was a brilliant idea. I thought that was very smart. I was like, there's no way Christian Cole came up with this, but okay. I
know that's with making him look so bad early on. It's
here you go, Kayla. That's for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy the Aemon theory either.
I actually enjoyed that they included some of the sacking of Duskendale.
Yeah, that was cool.
I was appreciative for this. I wish it was a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But that's just because I wish every episode was like 2 hours and I want them to expand everything, and I would be cool with seeing every event and every single battle. But again, I just don't think they want to invest the money into it. And there's only 8 episodes. So no, this isn't where I thought he looked hot. I thought he looked hot when he had maybe it was here. Maybe it was here. He had some blood on him and stuff. It was kind of hot. I was like, because Fabian Frankel, I don't think he's a bad looking guy. Yes, I think he's a great actor because I fucking hate him on this show.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't think he's a bad looking guy. It's just that his character is a piece of shit. Yeah, he looks kind of hot with this blood and the armor and everything.
I thought this was reflected of the scene where Daemon gets the raven and he smashes the messengers. And this kid over here looked real nervous the entire time Cole's reading it. And I'm like, oh, is he going to hit him too?
Messengers never have good luck.
This kid's on the verge of tears.
I actually want to push
back anything else.
This military strategy is dumber than sin.
Right?
It is utterly reliant.
Thank you.
Mira and all of the blacks sitting in their tower with their dick in their hand and not using any dragons. It's like, well, we're going to surround your castle with all of the dragons. with our cavalry and infantry with no dragon support. Like,
dude,
literally,
they had the advantage in the beginning of this, like from just sheer number of dragon riders. You should have been able to just hover around King's Landing and go like, "What do you want to do?" Like that should have been the end of it. Honestly,
a lot of other things going on in the book that make this like less unbelievable. Like,
oh yeah, I might be completely wrong.
In the books in this I'm such a book person.
Yeah, please tell me.
It's so hard to be a book reader and then watch like your favorite series play out in a television show, because there are certain things
Kayla,
that
I had to deal with Dresden Files. I know what you're going through. Okay.
So, yes,
like I said,
I loved this episode. This has been the best episode all season. I loved this episode, but there are things that there are things that they needed to elaborate on. There's still some issues with the pacing.
Yeah.
But this is way better. This is a lot better. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm literally saying I have no idea what you're talking about. I have not.
As far as events.
Yeah, exactly. So I have no expectations of this. So like, I thought this episode was absolutely fantastic.
I love this episode.
I read the books. Like I said, Jon Snow is still on that slab. As far as I'm concerned.
Again, we're not going into if the next book's going to come out or not.
But I'm saying I did not do this for this show, and I'm glad that I didn't, because I'm really enjoying it. But like I'm saying, I think sometimes you add things because like you feel like what's going to happen from reading the books, and like I don't have that burden upon me anymore. I am free.
In an aspect, I know you could read Fire and Blood and still not know shit. You can still not know shit because it's written like a history book. Yep. So there isn't really fleshing out of characters. There really isn't. There's not much like.
Okay, so it's probably from like a friar or wait, not a friar,
a maester.
Maester, which if you're gonna do that, they're unreliable narrators.
So yes, they're doing it's like three unreliable narrator perspectives pretty much.
Yeah, it's like George R.R. Martin.
It's very George R.R. Martin.
It is. Not finishing a book is definitely George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, but it's also like, here's a history tale of this thing that I drunkenly heard on the Night's Watch. Let me tell it to you. But I'm going to put it on paper. Like, I like that.
What a convenient excuse for not having to write a complete narrative.
It's funny though. That's why I think of all the actual real historical accounts like that we do have of different historical people, yet somehow they can take those accounts and come up with like cogent biopics. Like, I don't know, like anything.
Not in the last 15 years.
The Dance of Dragons is based on, what is it? The War of Roses, I believe.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think a lot of shit goes into his stuff when writing. I don't know what is taking so long, but I can't really complain. Like, I know I complain, but I know I'm going to be the first one that goes out and buys it. So I should just shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to spend my money on
it. Right there in line with you. I promise.
Yeah, a lot of people will be at the bookstore.
I will read it. I'm not going to lie. I love it.
I hope Joe Abercrombie does a good job of finishing it.
Oh my god.
I'm debating
Jesus
not even
Christ.
trying. I was like reconsidering. I'm like, maybe I'll just read Anne Rice books because they're completed until this guy can get it out. But again, we're not going to talk about the book.
Yeah.
You're all dear. Okay.
Sorry, Nadia.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to start using my mute ability here, so it's okay. Nick and Austin, how about you guys? I haven't heard from either of you for a minute.
About this scene, no, I think we're getting one of the better scenes in this episode. That, again, as the crescendo goes, for the length of this episode, I think we get a fantastic scene between brothers, right? Like, Damon is very nonchalantly trying to state how he wants to do something that's fun, and like he wants to take Harrenhal because his his uncle's there, right? And so he's just trying to be very brash without strategy. And then obviously Aemon steps up to the plate and says, no, here's the actual, strategic way of actually thinking. And here's how you plot something out, which, he's already done. Right. And so Aegon is all butthurt when he finds that Sir Bitched Cole is and Aemon have been like buddies in planning things, which we saw what was in episode 1, I think.
Mm-hmm.
When they're planning it at night, right?
I think it was 2.
Yes.
Was it 2 or was it 1 or 2? I forgot.
Blood and Cheese. It was the Blood and Cheese.
So it was episode 1. Yeah. That's what I thought. So we're seeing the effect of that, right? We're seeing how it's actually being played out. And again, they've got a great strategy at hand. And it's not something that Aegon has. Aegon's all about like the whorehouses, and partying with his shithead, friends who are now White Cloaks, as Aemon also points out and makes fun of them. Dude doesn't even know about it, but he's getting made fun of in High Valyrian, right? Like, and the other thing too is that
doesn't even speak it fluently either.
Yeah, and you just can't. And I was kind of making a joke with my fiance. It's sort of like how I've learned to speak Arabic, but I'm like, not that well spoken yet, but I can understand exactly like what some people are saying sometimes, and like my regurgitation isn't all that.
I thought he was gonna ask, "Can I has cheeseburger?"
But yeah, like how to make
I can has
food. I can make go to war.
Side note, Nick, if you want ever anybody to speak fluent Arabic with, I'll just call my dad. He's Middle East.
Oh yeah,
I did want to see kind of like that moment where he's like, "Donde están los biblioteca?"
El gato es
amigos.
Like no, but that's kind of what it was. Like he was speaking it in a very rudimentary way, and then all of a sudden your brother, like with that sweet sapphire eye, comes in and goes in like, "Oh, by the way, like I'm way better at this than you." Like,
well, Aemon also looks older than Aegon to me. The actors,
I agree.
Yeah. Austin, what about you? How do you feel about this scene?
I think it's just kind of the start, which leads into the end, of course, where he feels left out. As king, he's not making these choices that are kind of crucial. And so it's interesting because he's starting to, I think it's the next scene or the scene after where they're in another council meeting and he's looking around and he's just like, I'm fucking bored. And then proceeds to go mount a dragon. So I just think it's really interesting because he's starting to really like see like people are plotting all around him and there's nothing he can do about it. So yeah.
You know what? I like this scene. You know what? This scene was great. It was a good scene. Okay.
I was going to ask you, Lady
really cool is like before this, we would have seen Aemon doing some stuff. Aemon showing that he was a competent leader, that he was thinking about what was going on, that he was thinking about like planning. There was some planning with Kristen Cole. If we would have seen that, like it would have been so much better than just like, oh, like Aegon is a dumbass. He's just gonna party all night and go to the whorehouse and he's gonna laugh at his brother who's curled up with like fat Roz again. So
no, I totally disagree.
I don't because at least you could see, you could establish what the
listen. Why I disagree?
Okay, sorry. Go for it.
I think at the end of this, he totally saw everybody else as players on the board, and he realizes what a physical force he is, and I think this is his total coming into realizing what a formidable figure he is on like the power scale here, like when he takes out what's her face on the dragon, like
we're not there yet.
God damn it. All the points that I want to make are at the end of the episode. I'm sorry.
Kayla, Kayla, Lady B. Just we'll get there. I promise. We're moving as fast as we can. Kayla, Lady B. Is Aegon? Would you say Aegon's kind of like this in the books? Is he very much didn't want the throne? Very much a party person? Like I know it's a history book, but you
sort of like
analyze this. Like
it felt like he wasn't this stupid. Like he's just so dumb in this book. Like it's like okay, maybe he didn't want to be king, but okay, that's what's happening, so I'm gonna like not be completely incompetent and ridiculously stupid.
They're supposed to mirror Damon and Viserys.
Yeah.
You know, so pretty much that's kind of what we're getting. And Damon, you know, was a lot smarter than Viserys, to be honest.
I feel like
this with Damon here.
Yeah,
Guys, I'm doing my best. There's another 40 minutes.
Okay.
I'm moving.
like,
We're
I'm trying.
Ironically, Lady V, you talk about the, establishing Damon's competence. They did that literally. They were trying to communicate that when he goes up to the whiteboard and starts drawing little X's and O's and arrows on it, and that's what they were trying to communicate.
Yeah,
there.
I just, oh man,
this guy is always
a military mind.
He freaks me out.
He does. He belongs in Game of Thrones, not the show.
You know what though? Like that's some shit. She has to use a rock as a heating pad. That's pretty fucked up. They didn't.
I actually liked it. I was like, oh, I get it. As a woman, I would do this. I get it. You got cramps. You gotta
do what you gotta do.
Water bottle back then. Come on now, a rock. She's wrapping a rock in a cloth. Like that's not like.
Well, don't you have a high opinion of yourself? You do good for a rock.
I also think
what the hell? She's queen. Sorry.
I also think this scene establishes the fact that he has no control over her. Like he thinks as whatever Lords of Whisper or whatever, he has control pretty much. But I think in this scene it establishes that she really does not give a fuck about him. Like doesn't care, doesn't establish. I really feel like
keep in mind he's the first Lord of Whispers, correct? Like so. This would look like you're a charlatan. Like this is like you are the Lord of bullshit.
I took it a little different though. I took it as that he already knows everything that's going on, and in a way, he's just he's letting her know in an aspect.
Well, she also, for some dumbass reason, told him about Aegon and the, maybe they didn't want Aegon to be the heir. That was odd.
Yeah.
I was like, he picked up on that.
He looked right at the moon tea.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Also, he looked right at it. He knows what's up.
Yeah.
He's also like, bitch, show me your feet. You want to make this up to me?
Let me see that pinky toe woman.
Wilding motherfucker.
Oh, really? No spoilers on this?
What do you mean?
This lunatic, this absolute mad lad, walked into her room, saw that she just popped the Plan B abortion potion, and still wanted some footy action. This is a lunatic.
Guy's got balls, man.
And somehow he's my favorite character.
He likes to make
he might be the best
he
person on
make
Team
her
Green,
feel
which is sad.
shame. He likes to make her feel shame. And in an aspect, she's going through some shit where she does feel really shameful and everything. And he's kind of rubbing it in. I feel like he's throwing salt in her wounds in his little slick, ratty way.
Have you guys seen The Bear, like season 3 of The Bear?
Not yet.
No.
Oh my gosh, where there's two, like that fat guy with all the tattoos and his little like homie friend that like does maintenance or whatever. They talk about being haunted, and I feel like there's some kind of colloquialism there. Like there's haunted, like literally haunted, but like haunted, like somebody's bugging you, haunted. I just kept thinking of that.
Somehow the way that you described, like not that type of haunted, but like the other type of haunted. The second part of what you said about haunted, like made me like uncomfortable with being haunted. Like that's the haunted.
If it makes you feel better, it's done by John Cena.
Before,
so he's invisible. I got it.
Before Sammy jumps ahead again, so we're back in Harrod Hall.
Thank you.
With Damon, and I want to ask the panel a question on this. Why? Obviously, this is a form of Aemond. Somebody online said it's because he doesn't remember what Aemond looks like, and so it's a version. This is Damon, but this is what he thinks Aemond. I don't know. What do you? Why do we have the eye patch? Why do we have this? What's going on?
It's young Damon, it's Damon recognizing the similarities between himself and Emmett. It's like it's supposed to be a combination of
parallels.
It's a mirror vision.
And then Luke Skywalker in the cave, like, oh my god, it's me.
Now, also we have 80 people watching. Thank you everybody who's tuning in to our stream. Please come over to the YouTube side. There is a panel going on. Who won this round? Team Green, Team Black. Christian Cole got. We cheered when Christian Cole got KO'd. Please submit your vote. Hit a like button. Subscribe to the channel and share the stream. Thank you so much for everybody being here. All right, back to the show. It's weird to me that we have a lot of political things going on. Towards the end of the episode, we have a dragon fight, and then we just have Damon in a haunted house the entire time. This entire episode, and I know you both and those who have read the books have a problem with Rivers over here, right? Alice, I think.
Yeah,
Her voice is like nails on a chalkboard to me.
Is she an actual witch?
In the books, there's some questions. Like, she's a very fascinating question. Like, what is your Alice Rivers take, Kayla?
My Alice Rivers take?
Yeah.
Well, we know for sure that she's a lot older than she appears to be. You know, she's definitely has been dabbling in some kind of magic, you know. I think they're kind of having her be like their Melisandre character for this. I mean, because she can see visions and storm clouds and fire and like flames, and I think it's pools of water as well.
She'd be having that green sight.
She definitely she served as like a what is it, like a wet nurse for a bunch of people.
In hair and all.
And she's supposed to look like unusually young for her age. That's like a key characteristic of her. But by the time the Dance of the Dragons came around, she had to be like at the bare minimum, like in her 40s.
Yeah.
She like, so the Harrenhal, like, how can I put it?
Wasn't there something like later on with like Bloodraven and what was her name?
There's so much
Star or something, and that like people were thinking like maybe she was Old Nan or something like that. I don't remember that one.
I definitely I don't think that's the case. There definitely has been theories on that, but I mean, so it's hard for me to talk about her without like completely. Well, we can spoil things now, right?
Yeah, you're good. You're in the clear.
So I mean, she's gonna play like quite a role.
Wait. 1 second.
No, I guess not.
Don't let's not spoil it for Nadia.
Yeah. That's
okay.
Not as easy as it looks.
Wait a minute.
But she's
No. Wait, I'm just considering Austin. Austin is reading the book as well.
Okay.
To a certain point. That's why Austin, I don't know if you want to tune out for a second.
It's okay. Please.
No. You know what? I don't think I should spoil this.
No, we'll save
because
it.
I'm going to
We'll
go
save
too
it.
deep. I'm going to go too deep down a rabbit hole.
Are
But
you
she
sure?
has a very yes, I always do.
Yeah.
But she is an interesting character, and there is like a creepiness and an eeriness about her. She's very interesting. I think she's intriguing. So
Mysterious.
and
I
yes,
think
What was
Carrie
the
is
stuff
the
that
black
she gave him? What was the stuff that she gave him?
well, to me,
the
they're making it.
paste or the
She
tea?
does dabble in a lot of potions and everything, and I believe it was Eustace in the books like states that she's a woods witch.
Yeah, she was a
And
witch.
so
allegedly.
pretty much, I mean, I feel like that she's given like weirwood paste. That's what they're trying to allude to, like, because she mentions like, oh, the bed was made from a weirwood tree, and the weirwood paste is supposed to look like blood, and
Mm.
so I
but
think
we don't know if it wasn't really blood when we saw it the first time.
I know.
And would it do this effect where we go from
Yeah.
here to obviously
you-
he doesn't?
Oh yeah,
he doesn't
people have
remember
all
getting
sorts
off.
of, but people have visions and stuff when they're sleeping under
tripping
like
balls like
Yeah.
ayahuasca, some shit, you
Yeah,
know. This
deep.
But it's so interesting to me that
motherfucker who would be microdosing
Spirit
in the middle of
Quest.
an important meeting.
Who would?
very interesting to me that it went from him falling asleep and then he would have to wake up, dress himself, and then get to this meeting, and now he's realizing he's kind of awake during this. So there's a lot of time that passes.
It felt like a Monday for you, babe.
Monday meeting.
Damn.
Who dresses
Yeah, he had
him?
a conversation
wanna
with Lawrence Fishburne.
Like, who put his clothes on for him?
Me tomorrow.
And he's totally not into this meeting. He's not here.
Even though he summoned
his-
Lord
Yeah.
Blackwood.
Yeah.
Even though it's all in his
He
head.
summoned me, my lord, my grace.
I like how the little like tiny kid that like killed that guy. It's like all grown
Turns
up
out-
now.
Turns out to be this dude.
I like that it was
Ow, I
very
didn't catch
much.
You didn't catch that? It was that like little kid that killed the like Bracken dude, like when Rhaenyra was touring the Stormlands.
That kid's a badass. I
Oh,
love it.
Yeah.
What I took from this is he's very much someone who still has aspirations for the throne. So, like, when you that last still you showed, that was his hand of the king. Like, like he has that. It's very prominent in the shot. Like, this is all wishful thinking for him.
I think this is a costume choice, Sammy. I'm gonna disagree with you on this one. This is just to hold this cloak together. I don't think this kid has. I don't really think we're gonna see much of him continuing on for the rest of the season.
No, I think he was saying no in
wasn't
terms of
saying that
Damon.
either.
Like,
I'm saying
Damon. Oh, okay.
I'm saying this is his.
This is the guy who would be his hand.
Yes,
If he makes him hand,
this is all wishful thinking. This is right here is all like a snapshot of what's going on in his very, very narcissistic head. Even though he said 1,000,000 times, he's with his wife, niece. There's always that part of him that has those higher aspirations. And like I said, I just took that just from where the placement of the pin was. That looks like this is headcanon for him.
Got it. Okay.
Agreed.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see it as a reflection.
Yes. Yeah. He's very much all of this, especially with like Tree Witch. I know you guys had a better name for her.
Witch.
With which, I mean,
what's which?
Trees
Wise
witch.
woman.
Gotta get
I'm
that
going with Tree
alliteration in there.
Sandwich.
All of this he has and what it sounds like from those who read the books, this seems to be like a unique experience. So like I'll just write it out because I don't know what it means. It sounds like it reflects on nothing in the books, and actually he should have been like not susceptible to these type of like mind tricks in the book, but they are. So like I'm just gonna deal with it. And
I think it could either be doing two things, right? Like continuing to show the hauntiness of Damon and adding to his cursed lifestyles, and also maybe portraying a little bit more of what he might do in turn of all his visions, but also maybe just trying to extrapolate how powerful Alice is to us, or maybe people that have not read the book, that is, to kind of get a glimpse of what she's capable of. But again, we'll kind of just see where they end up taking her character in this season. I'm curious.
Definitely. Plus, it means the writers didn't have to write another fucking boring conference scene.
Okay, so we're a half hour in. We're an hour and a half into the stream. Before we get into the dragons, there's like this scene and the Aegon scene. Do we want to just skip right to the dragons?
Dragon.
Okay. All right, let me find it. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Let me find it.
Wait, we don't want to talk about Alicent winning Mother of the Year.
I'll just. I mean, I already kind of spoke on that earlier, but yeah, like
You guys can talk about that while I find the perfect. So yes, we have Aegon. He's bored. He gets drinking. His mom's like, "You're a worthless child." So
I think it was
let's
funny
talk
when
about
he
our
stormed
favorite
out,
moms
though.
and why they aren't Allison Hightower. Let's.
Is this potentially us being a little too hard on Alicent because she's fucking awful normally, and that she's just trying to give the kids some tough love? And even if she's just like,
no way.
No, you think she's trying to goad him into it?
Like I feel like you'd be like, Mom, I got an A on this, and she's like, that's great, man.
Well, like remember she thought that he like burn the books, but he's like, I gave them away, I didn't burn them. Like, what kind
I
of
just
idiot
had
do you
them
take me?
removed.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
what kind of
she's
idiot
got,
do you take
she's
me
got
for?
daddy issues. She's got a whole bunch of shit going on.
This
She's
is
not
cute
mother of the
though.
year.
Like, this is so silly. Like, why would you care? It's like your eggs are in the Aegon basket. You shouldn't be caring about some dusty old prophecy that may or may not be real, which isn't even in the book. So anyway, I'm not going to go down that road. But
Oh no, I'll follow you down that road, and I will.
I
see
hate
that
like
she, when
every
she
day we
like
get the, it's a
double
son of
speaks
ice
at the
and
end. She's like,
fire.
"Oh, Aemon the Conqueror," and it was like, "Yeah, you know what? Your husband didn't know what he was talking about. Also, all of your boys pledge loyalty to me. I'm getting down on this. Like, she should have put her foot down right there. That would have been the end of this."
I swear to God, I
No,
legitimately.
Nadia, thank you for making me look foolish, but I'm telling you, if she would have asserted dominance at the very beginning, this whole thing wouldn't happen at all.
I go the opposite direction. I think Allison
Get
was
mad.
trying to explain to Aegon that, basically life as a pillow princess is fine. Like, dude, you don't need to do anything. Just lay down.
Let the
I'm with
adults
Alex
do
on
the
this.
thinking.
Yeah.
Let the adults handle it. Like,
Just wear the crown, prance around looking pretty, and you're good to go.
Yeah, but someone told you that, like, hey, your retarded nephew is taking the crown. Then you got to kind of be like, wait, what?
yeah, she just didn't realize that her 21-year-old kid is too stupid to be a trophy wife. Like, I mean, that's rough.
But it's interesting because in the first season they set him up as somebody who doesn't want the crown, who just wants to party. So this would fit him perfectly. Just show up, wear the crown, say yes, sir, and then go be
Like
with
your
horse
dad.
and just hang out. Yeah, like just hang out. But okay, I know we all want to get to the dragon battle. I just want to establish for the audience. So we had a couple of scenes. So we had Aegon basically bored with his council, decides to get drunk. Allison being a horrible mother to him. He decides to put on the armor and he's going to fly off to assist Kristen Cole. We also have a scene with Rhaenyra and her son talking about passing down the story of the Song of Ice and Fire to him. Yes.
Yep.
All right. And now Rhaenyra originally wanted to go fight Kristen Cole, but Rhaenys, thank you, decides to take her place as do, because you don't want the queen out there, to go fight Kristen Cole with her dragon. So that is where we are at. We're going to start. I'm going to bring up the thing and we can talk about the dragon battle because I know that's what everybody wants to talk about.
Real quick.
Yes.
The explanation that no, we can't send Jace out because he doesn't have any experience in dragon combat. Unlike Rhaenys, who also has no experience in dragon combat, but is also an 85-year-old woman. Like,
I thought she had been riding her dragon for like 40-something years, right?
But they've never been in a war, as far as I know. I thought weren't we in the time of, the peaceful king? So I mean, it's not like Rhaenys has been running around fucking anybody
Her
up
dragon
either.
is bigger, okay?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I wanted to see. That's what I wanted to see in this dragon battle was that she was more comfortable on the helm of the dragon.
Well, in that kind of analogy, though, right? Like, Joe Biden thinks that he can beat Trump at golf, and
by the way, it was the longest speech of that debate.
Aegon thought he could beat.
Look at how he's shiny.
So
Can we
cute.
just admire this shiny dragon? He's cute. We need more dragons in the show.
Beautiful. I love this. I thought this was so cute. I would be happy if I had a dragon too. And then this made me sad, and because of a book reader, and I know.
Yeah, you know what's gonna happen.
I know, but you know what? At the end of the day, I'm Team Dragon. Fuck
Me
Team
too.
Green.
I don't care about
black.
the dude. Just leave the dragons. Maybe they don't even want to fight each other.
The Targaryens have always been the Targaryens' own worst enemies.
They
and
have.
I mean, I really
women
hope
shouldn't
they
vote.
get into it with like the
Terrible.
Blackfire rebellions down the road.
Oh my
someday
God, yes.
for the show. I need a Blood Raven show. I need a
Oh my
Blood
God,
Raven
yes,
show.
Blood
God
Raven.
damn it.
Oh, it's hot.
I need a fucking dragon
Nope,
too.
I'm leaving.
So I can fly to the HBO offices and demand shit. Do it right.
Yeah, Saruman hat.
What do you call a dragon DUI? what's happening right now. I mean,
A dragon DUI? Oops.
Yeah, right? I don't think the cops are going to be able to pull you over. I don't think you get a DUI at that point.
I'm gonna call it an
All right,
oops.
yeah. This is I have this scene because it was very well lit.
Nope.
Yeah, the
between
lighting was really nice. I'll give it to
Yeah.
them.
It was very soft.
Counterpoint. Can we get this motherfucker a box to stand on so he's not looking up at his mom?
I mean, he's still growing though, right? He's still like a young.
He's
like,
strong.
18,
Okay, let's put the
17,
strong back in
18.
strong.
I was gonna say, he's a big ass strong kid. He should be bigger than her at like 11.
Yeah,
what they
that's
should have
true.
done is give the actor some steroids in between seasons to have him get super jacked.
Oh, I love that elf armor on his horse, like Legolas Hightower there. Look
Right
at
here?
that. Isn't that pretty? Like horse armor.
It's
Like
very-
it looks really nice.
Yeah.
Take notes, Rings of Power. Actually, maybe
we don't talk about
like-
that.
You have not
show.
seen what I have
I was gonna
seen.
say Rings of Power had one horse, and they literally
You have
killed
not
it.
seen.
Don't
what
get
I've
me started.
seen.
Yeah, they
I will
dropped that
blow a
line on
gasket.
this show like 2 episodes
blow off
ago.
a
You haven't seen what I've
Ah,
seen.
Anyway, dragons. Yes, dragons.
dragons. Which there's Vagar, right there.
I love
Bet that
Vagar.
camouflage.
You know what? I'm still
Vagar,
mad.
Vagar is like the shit.
I'm still mad that they gave Vagar such an ugly fucking design
I
because
agree.
they really screwed up like what Vagar is supposed to be, because how George
Yes.
R. R. Martin talks about the dragons, they're these majestic beings.
Yeah,
The older
eloquent.
they get, they're eloquent, they're beautiful, their scales get thicker as they get older.
Massive.
Their flames get stronger. This is the dragon that is the oldest living dragon, I believe, at the time. Out of yes, because
She looks like Loch Ness
Cannibal's unknown.
Monster.
They made it
Kayla,
like she's dying and deteriorating. He said like the
Poetry
dragons
in
have
motion.
cancer.
Well, I think they
Like,
went too hard
the
on the
hell?
hoary old
Dragons
bitch.
don't get cancer.
idea.
Like that was he said. Oh, the dragons like they get cancer. She's breaking down, and gave her a gobble.
This is
Like-
supposed to be Visenya
Visenya? That's my girl.
and Vagar right there.
Yeah, and
That's what it-
Vagar was the smallest dragon at that time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Vagar is like, and Vagar's the most battle hardened.
Mhm.
Like Vagar's the shit. That's my dragon queen. Love her.
Yep.
Vagar's awesome.
I love her.
I like Vagar.
They
And
made
then
her.
she just looks like an old turkey. And she's freaking rigging on her back. Like,
They
Okay.
gave her like a waddle. I
Yeah.
mean, she definitely blent. I knew right then and there. I'm like, oh, they blent her in with the ground. You know,
I still can't spoil what I want to talk about.
Wasn't there an entire bit about how Vagar can't leave King's Landing because if he does, they're going to get murdered? Like,
Yep, that
shouldn't
was last episode.
yeah.
and I get that was the letter from Kristen Cole that like, hey, Vagar's ready to rock. We'll be there for the battle that Aemon sent him. But like, surely if you're Team Black, like you just have somebody on Vagar duty. You got like 20 dudes camped around the outside of King's Landing. They're like, oh, there he is. Time to go run to Team Black.
Yeah, because it would be pretty obvious this big ass dragon leaving
Yeah.
like King's Landing. It's not like you can sneak her out. So it would be
737.
pretty obvious. Even if flown at night, you probably would notice her.
I think they went too hard on making her look old.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like her size is obviously very impressive.
she
but
shouldn't
like,
look old. She should be beautiful.
Oh
and-
my gosh, that crown right there looks so bad. Like his whole, like it looks so freaking
Ooh.
foamy.
He looks
Oh.
very
Ugh.
aged here. Look at this with the circles.
He's probably
under his eyes
drunk
and
as
stuff.
fuck. He's
Yeah.
probably
Say.
drunk as fuck.
He's hung
This is-
over. There's wind
this
in
is what
his
happens.
face.
This is a DUI on a dragon. That's what it
Also,
looks
they
like.
Shield says also why all the ropes hanging on her as well. Clean that shit up and put a golden saddle on her.
I know,
Sorry,
right?
He's like,
Sorry, buddy.
decaf.
Best I can do is a turkey neck.
With old fishnets.
He
Runs in them.
he deserves his fate. That's how ill-fitted his entire situation
Look at
is.
Kristen Cole. You know who he looks like? He looks like Mark Antony in Rome.
Yeah,
I see it.
You see it, except like what's his name? The actor is actually super hot. And I don't know,
He
Kristen
reminds
Cole's
me of
not-
Sammy
the
3
Shogun priest with the bangs, but the bald spot on the top. That's what the haircut looked like to me.
Yeah, the Portuguese guy, the Jesuits. Oh my god.
My chest hurts. Can't breathe. Okay. Jeez, dude.
It's like he
So full of
his
himself.
horse
I just
wants to
wanna
look
punch
so
his face.
so badass, like he's like this like awesome medieval knight riding a such an intimidating horse, but he's just not intimidating whatsoever.
Nope.
Dude,
I
the
love that they
designs
brought-
on the armor are very elven, like Lord of
They
the Rings.
are. I know. That's
Yeah.
why, like he
And,
looks like Galadriel's brother from
Yeah.
Power.
Guy Ladriel.
I like
Galadriel,
Galadriel.
who never picked up a sword in their entire life.
I
like
love,
9,000 years
I
in Middle
do
Earth.
love how they look.
Oh, here we go. Vagar.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
where'd it
Vagar.
go? I missed it.
And by the way, hoary
Next
old bitch is the quote that Eamon says about Vagar. Hoary means frost, like hoarfrost, like so she's like, just kind of like old cold bitch,
Yeah.
Can I get this?
I love that we bothered
There
to put
she is.
two
There she-
armies together and did not have them fight each other.
Well, there was like long.
I know there were some arrows that landed, but this was
Loose.
not a satisfying clash of arms.
I think they're saving that, but
Wow.
Yeah. Next
You're
one
welcome.
will be done by Warner Herzog. He would tell about the joys of being. that
I
character.
like. Okay, so there's nothing technically factually inaccurate about this fight, but man, the way
Yeah.
that they decided to stage it and the battle, I just like. I wanted something more. Like it just seemed. I don't want to say boring.
I wanted a full episode of it.
I wanted more build up to it. I wanted more details about it. Like, dude, Sunfire and Melee's were like going at it, like they were ripping each other apart, and then bam, like Vagar, like just the tempo.
Yeah.
Now,
like,
In
I
the
was
books,
shocked.
question: is Aemond like this determined to kill his own brother,
No,
No.
it's
No.
or is
No.
this
No.
it's like
payback
he's
for
on a
the?
chessboard.
Is this payback for the brothel scene from last week where he was being made fun of by Aegon?
I don't
No,
know.
it's pieces on the chessboard, and that's truly how he looks at everything. He's pragmatic about everything, and as much as I like how his character is being shown now,
Ooh.
I think he could be much smarter. Like,
Yeah,
That was so cool.
that was really cool.
Yeah.
But why isn't like Rhaenys a like crispy there?
That
Yeah,
did
why-
drive me nuts. Yeah, that even if it doesn't incinerate you, it's still going to suck all the oxygen out of the area next to you, and you're still going to
Yeah.
die. The other question I had is, Melee spends literally 90% of this fight with her jaws around Sunfire's wing.
Sunfire should have had his wing pulled off.
Yeah, and I just kept waiting for it to like rip off or bite through or do anything like that. But
yeah.
they treated it like her teeth got stuck or something, and she couldn't get out. And I couldn't. It
I
was,
know the
it was a
wing
bummer.
did get fucked up.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
The
didn't he
wing did
bite
get,
like the
the
wing
wing
through?
did get fucked up. It did.
Yeah, but she was hanging onto that thing for like 6 or 7 minutes. Like, chomp down, rip it off. Like you don't have to hang out with her.
I expected the other one's head to pop off when Vagar had it around the neck. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that
So
head's
did
gonna
I.
pop right off. Kind
Should
of a
have.
reflection of Jaehaerys in the earlier episode.
Yeah.
Thought
Yeah.
his head was going to pop off when they were trailing him through.
Well, you will see that in the next episode for sure.
Thank God. I'm worried the boys had used up all of the excess gratuity and violence in Hollywood.
Oh, I'm never gonna.
Oh, I
continue-
love the way the dragon looks here. Like Melee's looks so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like,
Details. I would say the CGI for this episode top notch for these dragons. Like I was not taken out of the
there
scene at
were
all.
only a
from them.
few times where it looked weird, but this looked really good.
Yeah, this
I
is
like
great.
Melee's. Too bad we don't get more time with them.
Yeah.
I was watching this fight, and when we got to the end, my big takeaway was I need to separate the look of Rhaenys from the character in the show. Like, she looks like she's supposed to be smart, and then I have to remember this is all her fucking fault. We could have been done with this if she wasn't a dipshit in episode 9 of last season and let them all live.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm still stuck on that from
everybody thinks that.
episode, like last episode, where she's like, "Oh my god, these men are so awful. The patriarchy is so bad. They start all of these fights," and I'm like, "You drew the first blood in this conflict when you decided to like murder all of those people in the dragon pit."
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
All I know
Just
is
leave it at
I
that.
hope as she fell to her death, she was just thinking, wow, I'm really dumb. I can't believe I died because I didn't kill those people. I deserve this.
I thought it was a really sad moment when her own dragon looked back at her while her.
I know,
dragon-
that was
Yeah,
sad.
that was well done.
That was sad. Oh,
Yeah,
Remorseful
that was-
for the dragon.
Yeah,
I know.
so
We are all on
bad.
team small fucking dragons.
Right? Oh no, my dragon would have been alive
Right
if I
there.
wasn't retarded.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh.
The poor dragon. It's so sad. Like, I
Mama.
didn't deserve this.
And then just falls to her death. I'm like, maybe she could survive that. I'm like,
Allegedly, because like she's still listed up to episode 7. So
it could be flashbacks though.
Yeah. I don't know.
Potentially.
But I'm like, I look at this and I'm like, there's no way. Even if the dragon was to land on its stomach with her on the top, she would have just the impact of everything else around her. She's
It's
gone.
okay. She can die. That's fine.
That's fine. That's fine. Sammy, am I up to the part you wanted to chime in? Or did I skip it? Are you there, Sammy?
Sammy's taking a piss. I think we're fine.
Okay.
No, what's really interesting, and like Kayla would appreciate this, is like, there's certain things that happen with Rhaegar at Rook's Rest, like later on. Yeah, so you're like thinking this is kind of symbolic. Like, this is the first dragon to die in the Dance of the Dragons, and then it's like we have Rhaegar and what's his face, like having their moment.
Sunfire survived this?
Yes.
Yeah. He
Yes.
lives for a little bit, like his wing is really messed up and he can't like move.
Well,
and he
I wouldn't say.
I think I can say this because you know what? If they're connecting this to Game of Thrones, if you've watched Game of Thrones, who here has not watched Game of Thrones?
Austin has not watched Game of Thrones, but
It's
You
okay.
haven't
Spoiler.
watched-
It came out 15 years ago. You can ruin it.
All right, so in Game of Thrones, Joffrey tells Marjorie basically what happens to Rhaenyra. You want to know Rhaenyra's fate, the fate of how the show is going to more than likely end up. Joffrey has already spoiled it. It's already back in Game of Thrones along with Shireen and the whole Dance of the Dragons. It's already all been talked about. So technically, I'm not really... fuck that. Game of Thrones already spoiled it and they decided to do this show. So, you know what? It is what it is. Yes, Sunfire he's alive and he still has a role to play. So, he's just made horribly.
Okay. I gotcha. Okay. I pick up what you're putting down, Kayla.
All right.
That's
But give me 1 second.
You're all good. I think.
Oh,
I
and
think
then Christian Cole gets knocked out.
I was gonna say
Touchdown.
My breath.
Rhaegar stepped on every other idiot on this field, but missed this guy.
Yeah.
Terrible.
That's
Adam.
Oh, okay. Thank you for joining us, Kayla. I'll let you plug yourself, and then we'll finish up the episode. But let people know where they can find you.
You can find me at Comics and Cleve on X, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it. And I'll be on Akba on Monday and maybe streaming with Zach. Well, Akba is on Joe M. Sontag's channel. We appreciate comic book art, so we talk about comic books and the art. And I think on Wednesday, I may be streaming with Zach's. I'm not sure. But if he's streaming, I think I will be streaming with him. I just have to check my work schedule. So, yeah. That's
Very
it.
cool. Thank you
I
so
don't really
much
do
for
anything.
joining us.
Thank you for
as
having
always,
me.
her links will be in the description below. Please go ahead and follow her. She's awesome. And Kayla, again, you're always welcome every week to come back with us.
Thank you. I appreciate you
Bye,
guys for
Kayla.
all my craziness. Have a good night.
Take care,
too.
Kayla. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so before we continue with Christian Cole, I'm just going to say, Sammy, are you alive?
Yeah.
Okay, did I skip over the part you wanted to input on?
No.
Do you
Are
even
you falling
remember
as-
what you wanted to say? That was
Say-
a while ago.
Maybe Sammy, it sounds like maybe you should. Do you want to dip out, man?
No. Yeah, actually, I probably should.
Yes.
But the I will say, yeah, having him dip out at this moment, he should dip out at this moment. Every wrong decision that Sir Crispin Cole has made, this is all coming to fruition. All of this is coming back to haunt him, and I don't care what haircut he gets. He's a little bitch. But yes, I should leave.
Okay, Sammy, where can people find you
Yes.
next? I'll let you plug yourself real quick.
Sorry, guys, I'm falling asleep.
It's okay.
I just had my first video go on YouTube. Please check out my channel. I'm looking at other things to review. But other than that, I'm on Gooch's animation block Tuesday through Thursday, and then when I'm awake, I would really like to give my my opinions on House of the Dragon, but apparently that's not going to happen tonight. So.
It's all good, man. Go get some sleep. Go get some rest.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
No,
Sam's links are in the description as well.
care.
So please go follow him as well. I know I'm blessed by being on the West Coast because it's only 9:30 here and it's probably very late for all of you. I appreciate each of you. Let's finish this up, right? All right, so we got
knocked out.
No.
Christian being a bitch.
I will say kudos to him for going to go try to find his
Yeah,
king.
like, oh my god, wait, I'm a king's guard and there's a king here. There's something I'm supposed to do, but what is it?
Is it Porky's mom?
I will say there's
it's
a
not
great
loyalty.
shot of him walking through the battlefield from above. Yeah,
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
This is great. I love this.
Awesome.
Just the contrast of him and just right here walking through.
It's just taunting.
then-
Look how close we were. He was laying down right in the middle of that.
It's
I
so
know.
interesting. Dragons seem to blow up when they like hit the ground.
Yeah.
And he finds Aemon with his
funny
sword.
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it looks
Like
like there should be sparkles or something. Like, catch me on Insta.
Eamon's about to do business, and then Kristen Cole walks up, and Aemon is just thinking, like, if you just walk away right now, come back in 2 minutes, all of our problems are
dumb.
solved. Like, this is
I
not
hate
an
what they're
issue.
implying there. It's like that's something that like really bugged me about the show because I think in like the book, like Daemon always supports Viserys, and
Yep.
like Aegon or like Aemond supports Aegon, and there's none of this like I'm trying to take the throne from you, but I don't know.
I think it also plays in the fact that in the show they play Aegon as an idiot. So
Mhm.
thus and they hyper contrast that with Aemon being
Yes.
such
Oh my goodness.
smart, but maybe too smart for his own good and just too egotistic. Where it kind of reflects as Aemon should be the one as king, right? If Aemon was king, there wouldn't be this issue. There would be a full-on dragon war. There wouldn't be this back and forth. But yeah, we get crispy Aegon.
He's just lying
out
there.
here,
He's just
so,
chilling.
yeah.
They're just chilling.
Crispy
I
tea.
love that. This is great that Sunfire is protecting him too.
Yeah,
Being
that's
wrapped
cute.
around him too. Yeah, and that's how they.
Bro.
All your fault, Christian Cole. All your fault.
Yep.
All of it.
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely.
I will let everybody go ahead and plug themselves so I can let everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. We'll start with you, Lady B and Alex. Where can people find you next?
I don't know. Yeah, if Zax is back from his vacation, I'll be back on Wednesday on Zax's channel.
And you can find me on the White Cloaks channel.
I don't know. You're working on a video. I don't know if you'll finish it. Hopefully.
Trying to. We're got a Matt Cawthon video for anybody who's read that series.
Very cool.
And, yeah, I'm just doing the wedding, and that's where all my creative energy is right now, unfortunately. But you know what I'm thinking of so I went back to California last weekend, and I found a bunch of really cool books that I used to love as a kid. And I found like Cat Wings, Owls in the Family, My Side of the Mountain, and I was thinking of doing like maybe a read through or something. Like if you saw my stream for the Father Christmas letters from J.R. Tolkien,
Yeah.
And I read the whole thing and it was really cool. And I'm like, this is fun. I was like, I'm going to read you guys some of my favorite books from my childhood and maybe I'll do it. I've always wanted to do this thing from Tales from the Blanket Fort. I'll make a blanket fort and I'll bring my favorite books out and we can talk about that. But yeah, I found them and I'm like, this is really cool. I should read them. So
I like that idea.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about things to do and I'll hopefully pick up around August again too. So
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool. Austin, we'll go with you because normally you do Nick
Yes.
first.
Well, Nick and I, you can definitely find us on Apple Podcasts. I mean, anywhere where you can listen to a podcast. Plot Strikes Back. We just talk about movies. We do have a couple in the works. Independence Day for sure with the holiday. We just watched that one. But yeah, you can definitely find us on there. We're definitely active on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it now. So you can definitely find us on there.
Very cool. And then Nick, last but not least.
Yeah. Much like Austin just said, you can find us on like every single sort of podcast channel. We've got Independence Day in the works. We've got something we're doing with Sammy actually. So we're going to be doing the Batman first movie since it had its 35th anniversary recently. So we're going to talk about that. Kaida is also going to be on our podcast as well. We're figuring out what we're going to talk about, but we're booking that sometime this month. But yeah, we're just trying to do what we can to be more active on X, and then we're trying to get some videos going on for YouTube as well. So I mean, we're always up for any sort of content, collaborations. We've got some stuff we're going to be doing on some Rippaverse books as well. So we're going to be uploading some of those on our YouTube channel. So I just need to edit them and piece them all together with panels. So it's just a post-production thing, I guess. But yeah, that's about it.
Nice.
Very cool. And I'll probably be back on Zach's if he's back as well Wednesday. This Friday on the Inside All Day, we'll do our Carnival rewatch. I've got a panel for that. We're on episode 5 and 6, HBO's Carnival. And no horror Tuesday for me because I still have family in town, but I will be doing a video on Longlegs. I'll be reviewing that because I'll be seeing that this Thursday.
Nice.
So again, everybody's links will be in the description below. Thank you, my panel. Thank you for staying awake. Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
Sam, everybody. Have a great night, everybody.
Night, everyone.
You too.